Hey ladies, Dietitian Tracy here and Certified Personal Trainer. I'm back at it with another video, specifically talking about how to stay on track during the holidays if you're tracking macros, if you're on a fat loss journey. And I'm gonna go through 3 tips with you that I have and break those down into different subset categories so that you know how to navigate the holiday season with confidence, and that, you know, one meal, a few meals out of this month will not make or break your progress. Without further ado, let's hop into today's video. First thing we'll cover is tips for balancing indulgences during your fat loss journey when you have these holiday parties and holiday family gatherings that you're going to, and applying that 80-20 principle that works most of the time for most people. Second thing we'll go through is strategies for managing your portion sizes while you are at those events. Building your plate, building your treat plate, that kind of thing. And that leads me into the third thing, are your mindset shifts. When you can master your mindset during this holiday season, it will go so much smoother and you're not gonna have all that guilt or stress and anxiety around food or what you ate and all that stuff. Christmas, New Year's, it's not about every single minute calorie you put into your mouth. The true meaning of a new year, the true meaning of getting together with family for Christmas is to enjoy the time with them. And food just happens to be part of that. Food is love, food is comfort, and that's what it really should be. And that's how I want to really help you focus on and treat that as that. And it doesn't mean it's gonna derail your progress, or if you're tracking macros, that even if you have a higher day with your macros a few days out of the week, that in the grand scheme of things, in the whole month, if you're staying consistent, you should be okay. First tip I have is following that 80-20 principle. You might have heard this before. You might be like, oh yeah, Teresa, I know that. I already know what to do. Like 80% of the time you eat good, and then 20% of the time it's those bad foods or things like that. Don't want you to think about that way. That's why I'm talking about it. I want you to reframe it. So 80-20, so 80% of the time, I'm talking about 80%. If you look at your week in a week snapshot, 80% of that week, every single day is an 80%. Your 80-20 applies to every day. That doesn't just mean 80-20 Monday through Thursday and then forget about Friday through Sunday. I'm just going like 10-90. Like, no, we're not doing that. That is where that dieting cycle continues, is when we go so hard Monday through Thursday, Friday through Sunday, calories don't count, macros don't count, and if we're not working out, whatever. That's not what we're going for. Consistency is key here. So that 80-20, apply that every single day. That means, you know, you're being mindful about like balancing your plate, balancing your meals, being intentional about not skipping meals during the day, Sunday through Saturday, and I'm including weekends here. Just because you have a holiday Christmas party for your work Friday evening doesn't mean you don't eat all day Friday, and then once you get to the Christmas party, you're like, let's go. And then all of a sudden, magically, you're never gonna eat a single one of those foods again. Not how it works. So I want you to really go into every day, 80-20. What can I do consistently? Thinking about what foods are gonna make me feel good. Come down to the basic principles. How do I build a basic meal? If you haven't already found that, use my Fat Loss Meal Planner guide. It has some great ideas of how do you build a basic meal with basic ingredients that will support your fat loss goals. That will also help you plan for the week, batch prepping certain proteins, veggies, carbs, so that you can make a meal really easy. Focus on that 80-20 every single day, not just 80-20 Monday through Thursday. It's every single day. You got this. Now let's go into strategies for managing your portions at these holiday events, at your holiday gatherings with your family. First things first, usually there's a huge plate out there, right? The serving tray plate, like the styrofoam plate. My family's got it. I bet yours does too. Or if you're being served with bigger plates, obviously you can't just be like, hey, I need a small plate. But if there's smaller plates available, grab those. Grab those smaller plates and start with that. Because a lot of times our eyes are bigger than our stomach, especially when we're around family and just the happiness of the moment and trying different foods. Like Aunt Susie brought that and Uncle Bill brought that, and I want to try those dishes because they're new. That's okay, but with the smaller plates, you're naturally putting smaller portions on your plate. And it looks like a mound of food, even if it's not so much calorically and macro-wise. So when you go into your portion sizes at your meals, when you're looking at like carb options, typical things are like rolls, mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, corn casserole, sweet corn. You know, instead of getting like a heaping scoopful of each of those, like a cup of each, just aim for about like a quarter cup of each to make on your plate. Be like, okay, I need about a quarter of that plate with the carb sources. And when you move into the protein source, ham or turkey, if you have turkey breast, make sure you have at least 4 ounces of a protein on there. So about the palm size of the rest of it is like, is there a fruit tray, a veggie tray, something like green bean casserole or things like that that are a little bit of a lighter fare with more fiber that will keep you satisfied for longer and also keep your blood sugar stable after that meal to avoid super intense sugar cravings for the treat table after that meal. When you're tracking macros, this is a method that can help, but I want you to focus on enjoying the moment and just focus on that meal and do the best you can. If you want to be consistent with your macro tracking during the holidays, go right ahead. But if you have 2 or 3 Christmases in a week and you don't track 2 or 3 of those meals, 3 out of like 30 plus meals you eat in a week really won't outweigh. And that's where we tie that 80-20 back in. If you are being very consistent 80-20 every single day during this holiday season, that is gonna outweigh your progress and results instead of just hyper focusing on like the 3 or handful of meals that you had during the holiday season. So keep your focus on that. The other thing here with managing portions that ties into this that really helps is your water intake. So before you go to that holiday event, make sure you are being well hydrated. And then before that meal, make sure you're well hydrated. Try not to drink so much water in between each sip or soda, things like that, because if you think about it, when you take a bite of food, you drink water, you're filling your belly up with water, which doesn't have any calories. So technically you might feel full, but you've only eaten a little bit of your food. Focus on your food, chew your food, slow down eating and then go after the drink and the water afterwards. So that way you actually got the calories your body needed, and then the water helps with that digestion. So those are just some tips I have for portions and how to navigate like the meals. Now I want to move into mindset shifts. I've already kind of talked about mindset shifts a little bit already, but I'm talking about the mindset shift to avoid the guilt around holiday treats specifically. I'm not going to be a dietitian that says you should never have a cookie, you should never, have the M&Ms on the treat table or the reindeer mix or that kind of stuff. I want you to be able to enjoy that. Here's where it starts going awry and where people are like, but Teresa, if you tell me to eat those things, I'm going to eat them all. But when you really think about it, and like, let's say there's brownies, there's cookies, there's the little peanut butter kiss cookies on the treat table, and then you got the puppy chow, you got the M&Ms, like all of it. If you were to grab a huge plate and just mound it full of that, and you ate it all, how would you actually feel? You're probably not gonna feel good, your stomach's gonna hurt, you're gonna be on this sugar high. You are just not gonna feel good. You might feel just gross. Honestly, why do that to yourself? So go into the treat table and all these treats and give yourself permission. Please solve your guilt, solve your anxiety around treats, solve your stress around the cookies being made and baked because you have a cookie baking day and everybody's around and it's so fun, but you're hyper focused on the amount of calories and sugar that are in the icing that you just can't eat because like if you have one lick you'll gain 10 pounds. You won't, by the way. That's what I'm saying is we create this story in our brain of like no to the treats because I'm being good. No girl, you're not being good, you're just setting yourself up for eating 3 slices of pie, cookies, cake after the fact, after everybody leaves because you deprived yourself of that whole time, or even after the holiday season when you're left with all the leftovers. You didn't actually let yourself just enjoy it and move on. I know that you might be thinking, this can't happen for me. it can happen for you, because I've seen it with myself, I've seen it with clients, that when you give yourself permission to eat all foods are neutral this holiday season, you are likely not going to overeat on the foods you think you will because of how you feel. Like the ice cream in the freezer. People say I can't have a pint of ice cream in the freezer because I'll eat the whole thing and then I'll just keep doing it. But think about how you feel after a whole pint of ice cream. Nobody, even if you can tolerate a lot of lactose, you probably aren't gonna feel good. So think about that. Think about those things. To tie into that of the guilt, giving yourself permission, let go of that Last Supper mentality. So let go of the, oh, this is the last time, I'm gonna restart tomorrow on the 26th, or this is the last time before the New Year's hits and I'm just gonna, this is the last one, this is the last bite, this is the last cookie, the last piece of pie, the last batch of cookies that I'm just gonna eat, or I'm gonna eat these till I'm sick of them and then I won't ever want them again. You're gonna want them again. Like, that's the thing. It's like, let go of this Last Supper mentality. It's a holiday, it's a challah meal. For most people, you got 3 or 4 meals out of the month that you're going to. When you think about this Last Supper mentality, when has it ever really worked out for you? When has this is the last time and I start again on Monday. And then all of a sudden we're at a Thursday, you're doing really good. And then Friday hits, Saturday hits. This is the last time, I'm starting again on Monday. And the cycle continues. I don't have to say it time and time again because I think you get it by now. So let go of Last Supper mentality around the food with holiday meals. Also around that treat table. Just give yourself permission to eat. And if you're tracking macros here too, just track the cookie. If you had a couple cookies and peanut M&Ms and some puppy chow and you're curious to see what it is, just use it as data. Use it as data to be like, okay, well, probably had a little bit more of carbs that day, carbs and fat, but that'll fuel my workout because I like working out to have a stronger body. I have goals. Like, I want to move my body. And this is just gonna be utilized as extra energy. Doesn't always have to be negative. Sure, you might feel a little bit more weighted down the next day and pants might fit a little tighter the next day just for a very temporarily short period of time. But if you got habits built up to that point, it's gonna go away and you're gonna keep moving forward without having a week of spiraling. This is what you need in this holiday season. Balance those indulgences for your fat loss goals by taking an 80-20 approach and using that on a daily basis, including weekends. Second thing is to utilize strategies like managing your portions with smaller plates, going for that balanced plate method most of the time for your holiday meals, and drinking water, staying hydrated throughout the day. And then third is your mindset shifts. When it comes to sweets and desserts in the treat table, you choose. You choose what this holiday is about. If you want to be bundled up with stress and anxiety around food, it's your choice. I'm saying that with no filter because I've been through it. I needed somebody to say that to me when I was in the midst of it. I wish somebody would have said, why are you doing this to yourself? Because clearly Christmas and New Year's is not about the every single little bit of calorie or icing that you licked off the mixer. It's about like the memories you're making. And then you get to have conversation around food. And then naturally, you're likely just eating what your body actually wants with the treats, with the food, with the wholesome foods, like during this whole time. You deserve to put this effort into yourself, and I hope you were able to take something away from this video and bring it into your next holiday party, bring it into your next holiday with family and friends. You are worth enjoying your life and enjoying the process of your fat loss journey. It's not gonna be thrown away this holiday season if you don't let it. You choose how you view food. You choose how you approach holidays. But that's all I have for you in today's video. I hope you have a fantastic holiday season and stay strong, stay nourished. I'll see you in the next one.